What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Humble Warrior checking in with you again. Wanted to do a reaction video to today's game. Um, Dolphins finally won today, 17-9. So they snapped their 7-game losing streak to the Houston Texans. Um, Majority of the game was pretty decent. A lot of turnovers. Teams combined for 9 total turnovers. Houston had 4. No, Houston had 5. Miami had 4. On Houston side, they forced 2 picks and 2 fumbles. Miami forced 3 picks and 2 fumbles. So pretty sloppy game, you could say. I mean, you also could say that, the Dolphins defense showed up, and they wish they did. They held them to barely, I think maybe combined 200 yards total, maybe 250. And the offense of the Dolphins, they didn't do so great. So they did enough to win the game, which all you can ask of them. Jacoby Brissett, he was 26-43, 244 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. Had a completion percentage of I want to say 52%, and he spread the ball decently today. Gaskins got a few. Gronkowski caught a bunch of nice one-handed passes. Water chipped in a bit. He actually had a good day today. Water did. Just didn't get a chance to score a touchdown, but needed to Gronkowski. But both of them chipped in a lot today. The recipient of touchdowns was I forgot number 80's name. I forgot his name, but him and Gaskins had a wildcat play. He ran for 6 yards out. They kept the Texans out of the end zone, but they did, give up 3 field goals, so that's why it was 9-17. The second half, neither team actually scored. The Dolphins, they just offensively, they had moments like the third quarter. They was moving the ball. Then after that, he threw a dumbass pick. Then I don't know what's wrong with Jacoby Brissett. The line ain't the greatest, but you could see that they gave him some time. Here and there, yeah, the left, well, actually no, the right tackle will get blown up. So every now and then that will happen, but for the most part, they gave him a decent pocket to work with today, and he still was underthrowing receivers. He had I forgot number 83's name, signed out of the practice squad, but the kid had ran a post route, and he was open, literally open, and Brissett underthrew him by like 2-3 yards. Had he hit him in stride like he's supposed to, that was a touchdown. But not hit a nitpick because they did win. Great overall game, all sides of the ball. Just got to minimize turnovers. Can't be throwing, can't be fumbling the ball, Holland and Gaskins. Can't do that. You also, on Brissett's side, you can't throw 2 stupid picks. One of the picks got bad in the air. That does happen, But the other interception he threw, Water was nowhere near that ball. All Water could do was come back and be a defender because he had beat his defender down the field, and had Brissett let it go, he had a touchdown. But the mere fact that he had pressure, he had to step up. He still actually could have stepped up and then gathered his feet and found another receiver, but he decided to throw it to Waddle, who was double covered. Don't know why, but he did it. And that's what caused the first interception, which gave him the ball right back. There's a trend going on with this Dolphins fan base that I don't understand. So today they win, but then people get online and say, "Oh well, if Tua was in the game, they would have lost the game. They would have, gave up scores and blah blah, and this and the third. The offense wouldn't have been as efficient." If you actually watch that entire game like I did today, there's no way you can sit there with a straight face and say Jacoby Brissett is better than Tua. No way. And all he had to work was tight ends and Waddle and the other kid, I forgot his name, number 83. That's all he had. He didn't even have receivers. So he had 3 tight ends, a running back, and Waddle. And Albert Wilson was out there, but he caught 1 pass, 1 ball. They don't have Fuller. They don't have Parker, because once again he's hurt, quote unquote. So he had nothing to work with outside of Gronkowski, Shamet, and Waddle, and Holland. Let me not forget Holland because that's a football player. He catch anything in his radius. So him and Gronkowski and Waddle are a three-headed nice addition to this team. But I said all that to say this. I mean, for some reason, this whole stigma about Tua's getting old. I mean, yeah, the kid, he's thrown 5 picks. Not happy about him at all. Not one bit. But in the games he's played, they stayed relatively close. They came back in 2 of them, though. You know, the Jacksonville game, they got down early, but he brought him back. Same thing with the Falcons game. Brought him back, and they could have won the game, but last-second drives, field goals, turned to losses. So it's happened. But you can't sit there and say definitively that Jacoby's better. And it's getting irritating to hear this over and over and over again. The kid's soft with tissue because he messed with his finger. I'm not Tua, so I can't speak on the man's health. But if he was feeling good or up to playing, he would have played today. But I think Flores has something to do with that because of the Watson trade rumors and because of the deadline that at the last minute Ross pulled the plug and said, "Never mind, we're not going to trade for him." And then that same week, or this week that you say that, the same week he's, all of a sudden he's limited in practice, he can't play, and then he gets scratched off the list today. Because Thursday they take on Baltimore, so I'm hoping then he'll be good to go. He'll be able to play. But you guys keep putting this unbiased pressure on Tua because of what he did in college. And college and pros are 2 different things. And in college, you do need some type of protection. The same with the pros. I have never seen one professional NFL quarterback that could just sit there with no protection around him at all and just sling the ball. Even Michael Vick learned the hard way. You need an offensive line. You need people, the big men up front, to be at least give you some seconds back there to throw the ball. But this ain't about his line or what's around him. This is merely about him. You guys ain't even giving the kid a chance to develop. All you keep saying is he's got 9 games left and he should be able to show us something. He didn't play today, so now he got 8 games left. And if he manages to put up, 200-300 yards a game for the next 8 games, barring he don't get hurt anymore, then what will be the next argument? Because that will give him over, if he does 300 yards the next 8 games, that's 2,100 yards, which push him over 3,000. So 3,000 yards in the season and maybe 25 to 30 touchdowns. Hopefully the picks stay at 5. But we'll just say they go up to like 7 or 8. So 25 to 30 touchdowns, 8 picks. What's going to be the argument now? That your record? I mean, because you be real with yourselves, most of the people on offense aren't even healthy except for Waddle and Gronkowski and Hollins. The rest of those guys are shuffled. But you still don't want to take in consideration because you continue to sit there and put the hiatus on Tua. You just continue to say it. So at this point, there's no point in even breaking down the situation around him because you guys deem it as an excuse when it's really not. It's a fact of life. It's what he has to work with. And I'm not saying go out there and give him the best lineman available and the best this and the best that. No, but you got to give him something. You got Gronkowski and Waddle, 2 dependable receivers that stay healthy. Parker's not here to work for shit. Albert Wilson is a shell of himself. Now, if you give him another dependable receiver out there to pair along with Waddle that don't run into the motherfucker, like Gronkowski did today, but that wasn't his fault. He was trying to get open, and him and Waddle just happened to hit each other. But you have to get them on the same page in terms of health. Everybody can be able to stay healthy at some point in time in the season to be able to build that bond in jail. If that doesn't happen, then you're wasting your breath about beating Tua down because even when he's trying to get on the field and play, who is he really throwing to? And the passes you saw today from Jacoby, some of those passes, man, Tua would have hit him. And y'all know he would have hit him. Hey, you saw the game last week against the Bills. He threaded a bullet between 3 Bills defenders to Parker, who converted the first down, which his rookie year, he would have never done that. But because it was soft coverage or it was zone coverage, and he had a linebacker over the top and a corner and a safety right above him, he bullied that bitch in there. Right when the window opened, he bullied right through that window, right to Parker for a first down. And people still overlook that play. They overlook the fact that he He avoided certain pressures and still got first down, just like Atlanta. He hurt the fucking safety by running them over, by trucking the dude. But it's little nuances like that get overlooked. But everybody seemed to pay attention to when he throw 2 picks or he throw an interception, or when they lose, he takes that bullet, But today they won, and he's still being criticized, and I just want to know why. How is it that somebody that's not even playing? He was out there fully dressed, but the coach wouldn't let him play. And some people say it was because of the rumors, which I think that's what it was. I think he was trying to give the fan base, what they wanted in terms of seeing Jacoby play. But Jacoby went out there and literally, he damn near fucked that game over. If it was not for the fact they scored 17, in the first half, and they held on, he was about to throw that game. Because Houston forced a late turnover, and then they got the ball back. And after that, Miami forced a turnover under 2 minutes. And that's what saved Miami. Because the very next possession, you saw the offense struggled. They got like 1 to 2 first downs, but they could not run the clock out because they decided to run the ball, which to me, if you got that much faith in Jacoby, as you say you do as a backup, then you should be able to put the game in his hands on 3rd and, I think it was 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9. Have him convert that first down so you can run the rest of the clock out. Why would you run the ball with Gaskins? What are you really saying to Jacoby? We don't trust you enough to put the ball in your hands in the clutching moments. The same thing they did with Tua on 4th and 2. They did not give him a chance to actually make that play, which I felt like he would have made the pass because that would have kept the drive going against the Bills and they would score a touchdown. But in a whole different ball game. But there's also plays in that game they didn't call that muff punt that was a safety, but they said it was a touchback. That was actually a safety that would have given 2 more points. But you can go here or there with these arguments. All I'm saying is the noise needs to stop because you're basing his performance off of not even a full season yet. He hasn't even played a full season, and he's trying to get there. Now next season, if he matches, God willing, if he stays healthy, the rest of this year, if he puts up those numbers, 3,000 plus yards, whatever, he goes in next season. I'm praying they give him a fair shot next season to give him a whole full season, keep him as healthy as you possibly can. Give him those 18 games to play. Give them to him. Let him go out there and game in and game out. Let him see what he can do for you. If you guys win games because of what he's able to do on the offensive side of the ball, kudos. Does he deserve all the credit? No. Share it around, goddamn, highlight what his team did or what that team was able to do. But don't sit there and criticize him and put all the blame on him. If the defense give up 20-some points in a quarter, it falls on him because he don't play on defense. But then that's when the whole team aspect come back around because the offense and defense got to do their parts in order for people to win or in order for teams to win. And if that doesn't happen, then you basically, they're going to blame it on the quarterback because the quarterback has the ball in his hand 99% of the time, except for on defense. He doesn't. So with that being said, it's really becoming unfair to be that biased toward him when all he actually does is try to help the team. That's all he does. He don't try to do too much. Like I think this year they're letting him have some reign in terms of leeway and what he can do. But you also see in clutch moments how they're trying to take the ball out of his hands. And to me, that's not fair because what you're saying to him is you have not developed yet to where we will need you to be at to be able to take over these games. Well, then if that's the case, allow him to learn from those. On that 4th and 2 play, let him make that play call. Don't get the ball to Brown because Brown didn't get no damn well. I would have gave it to a RPO play. You make that choice. You can pass or run. It's your choice. But I'll live and die with it. Period. I'm going to let you make that choice. But to those who dislike the kid, and you got all these subpar reasons, noodle arm, not elite, not this, not that, everything you're saying is basically a lie because you've seen in games where he's able to read defenses. He can pick the right spots. He can put the ball in there. He can rifle shots down the field. But you only say this because the numbers don't add up with what's actually being shown on film. That's why this is happening. If he was throwing 400 yards a game and 4 or 5 touchdowns, then you have nothing else to say because the numbers are backing up what you believe he could be. But because the games are so close and they're going to put up 250 to 260 yards with just a touchdown or two, then the noodle arm, that type of stuff come out, which is so far from the truth. The kid does not have a noodle arm, period. Period. But it just, that stigma keep getting put out there. He has a noodle arm. He can't do this. He can't do that. So far from the damn truth. But nonetheless, I mean, it's getting old. It's getting old. And to me, you have to be fair. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, guys, sorry about the light in here. But let me know your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe to this video, please. Share it with people. Just give me your perspective on what you think is best at this point for this team. With that being said, guys, you guys have a good night. I'll be doing a recap of the game Thursday. Since I'm off that day, I can actually watch the game and give some feedback on the game. Anyway, guys, peace.